Hello, I'm Miloš Ravinsky and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. In the latest episode of Everyone Blames Everybody Else, Russian media are claiming that the recent Ukrainian incursion into the Kursk region was orchestrated with the help of intelligence services from the United States, the United Kingdom, and Poland. Classic Moscow move, right? And now, here is the kicker. The only proof the Kremlin seems to have is the always reliable catchphrase of, "We have credible information." Needless to say, they have it, but they haven't shown even a shred of it. It's like saying you definitely have a girlfriend, but she goes to another school and lives in Canada. Now, this isn't just about not showing your homework either. It's a whole trend of treating foreign intelligence as a kind of magic wand. Wave it around and you can explain anything away. See, it's not that our defenses were lacking, it's just that the entire NATO was against us. Always a convenient narrative, isn't it?
И вот то, о чем я не устану повторять. Главная цель США – разжечь как можно больше войн в Евразии. США бросают остатки украинцев в костер войны, чтобы война, разгорелась сильнее. Это звучит ужасно, но если вы начнете смотреть на действия США с этого ракурса, вам все станет понятно. Все их заявления в СМИ, все разговоры про мир – все это, друзья, для отвлечения внимания и в пользу бедных. Чем сильнее война у нас, тем больше денег и мозгов бегут к ним. Сейчас они сознательно переносят военные действия на территорию России. Для чего? Первое – проверка обороны. Если мы предположим, что впереди прямой конфликт НАТО, ЕС и России, то все станет на свои места. НАТО на первом этапе жизнями украинцев проверяют обороноспособность России, скорость и масштаб реакции. Второе – провокация. Провокация Путина. Путин достал США, потому что делает, что считает нужным. С этим, я думаю, спорить никто не станет.
And of course, the map of the United States just had to include the visage of an evil Uncle Sam that looks a bit more like Homelander. Anyway, in a twist that surprises absolutely no one, Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service is echoing the same claims. They've got credible information, but think of it as a secret recipe. They can't actually show it to you, but trust them, it's spicy. This is a classic pattern in the Misinformation Playbook. Big claims, zero proof. Just another day in the world of international relations where transparency is apparently as mythical as unicorns. Now, it seems like every time we peek into the circus tent that is Russian politics, Dmitry Medvedev is juggling some fresh absurdities for our amusement. Recently, during a Security Council meeting that Putin graced with his presence, and really, what's a Russian meeting without a dash of extra drama, Medvedev, our beloved source of endless gaffes, returned to the spotlight with his usual flair.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Мы с вами поговорим сегодня о новых технических решениях, применяемых в ходе специальной военной операции. Министр обороны Андрей Иванович Белоусов находится на одном из пунктов управления. Он будет работать в режиме видеоконференции.
Medvedev, who must have missed the memo that Cold War rhetoric was so last century, decided to serve us a new dish of his warmongering delights. No negotiations until the complete defeat of the enemy, he declared, as if he's the first to have such a groundbreaking revelation. He then ranted about the negotiation trap that Russia might fall into, concocted by the nefarious international community and imposed upon the poor unsuspecting regime in Kiev. Because clearly, what's more menacing than peace talks? Following what he described as a neo-Nazi act of terrorism in the Kursk region, Dimitri asserted that all has fallen into place. The idle chatter of unauthorized mediators about a beautiful peace has ended. Now, everyone gets it, even if they don't say that out loud. There should be no more negotiations until the complete defeat of the enemy. It is always charming when Medvedev tries to channel his inner warlord now, isn't it? It's like watching a child play a game of Risk, only the stakes are real and nobody's having fun. Actually, scratch that. Make it a 3,000-point game of Warhammer, and the kid has just called exterminators because the dice aren't rolling in his favor. And as Medvedev points out, don't expect those quote-unquote unfortunate Ukrainian serfs to stop kissing the bloody hands of their Anglo-Saxon masters anytime soon. Classic Dimitri, always keeping diplomacy and decorum well at bay. Now, reports from the German Bild magazine are stirring up a storm. Apparently, massive mobilization in Russia is on the horizon. The Kremlin, amid rising losses in the Kursk region, is allegedly ready to quietly roll out a sweeping call to arms. Picture it: Vladimir Putin, faced with no other choice but to replenish his dwindling forces, opts for the stealth mode of crisis management. Experts like Jana Plauman and military analyst Julian Röpke are painting quite the desperate picture. They suggest that the Kremlin is so desperate that it's using sweet promises of high salaries to potential recruits, while strong-arming draftees into signing up for the front lines. All this cloak and dagger recruitment maneuvering is supposedly happening because, in some corners of Russia, the coffers are so empty they can barely afford to train or equip their soldiers. It's almost like a tragedy/comedy where the protagonist, a grizzled Putin, tries to charm his beleaguered troops with comradeship and tales of valor, all the while sneakily preparing them for more than just a handshake.
Вот так закончилось общее фотографирование с верховным главнокомандующим.
This subtle build-up of forces under the guise of business as usual could be his way of bolstering the front without stirring panic or protests at home. It's as if he's trying to quietly amass an army, hoping no one will notice until it is too late. But as the old saying goes, you can't start a fire without a spark, and in this case, the spark is a not-so-secret massive mobilization, apparently. So, you want to make a career with absolutely average credentials? The secret might just lie in joining the military or security services. Yeah, seriously. It's not about the actual service, but about passing the entrance exam. Once you're in, they might not know what to do with you, but for the rest of your life, you can wear the badge of former employee. Take Larry Johnson, for example, who has spent more time as Putin's propaganda pawn than as a CIA analyst. Back in 2008, he claimed to have tapes of Michelle Obama delivering a racist speech against white people, which, surprise, surprise, never actually existed. That's how he kicked off his career, though. So, I guess he's actually scoring a winning point there in the most dubious manner possible. Now, Johnson loves to drop simple facts about the US and NATO, playing his part in the narrative around the recent events in Russia's Kursk region. Apparently, when facts are optional, a career in misinformation is shockingly sustainable.
The United States and its NATO allies have invaded Russia. And let me repeat that. The United States and its NATO allies have invaded Russia using Ukraine as a proxy. They planned it, they helped organize it, they staffed it, they funded it, they supplied it. There were even some U.S. personnel and NATO personnel, citizens fighting alongside these Ukrainians.
Oh, so a Russian proxy is accusing others of being proxies. Well done. If your career goals include stirring international pots from your couch or possibly wearing pajamas, just remember, in the world of state-sponsored narratives, it doesn't really matter if your resume reads more like fiction than fact. Just keep those exclusive scoops coming, and you might just become the next star of geopolitical soap operas. At least, if the director is based somewhere in St. Petersburg. And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.